you wear my Levi's jeans when you're tapping out your phone. Put it down to it.
Baby, you know I'm on my bullshit. I'll let you ride. Rodeo in your room, that shoe breaks loose with perfect timing. Love when you tease me in them jeans, girl.
Coworkers are simply devastated. Her family sharing photos with us tonight.
Our team coverage continues now with 7 News Detroit reporter Ruta Alsanaida live with more from employees who hid in fear and coworkers who say they'll never forget their friend. Ruta.
Yeah, you guys, clearly just an emotional day for those that knew and loved Latricia Green, but also for the employees that were inside the hospital when those shots rang out, who had to run, hide, and pray that they weren't next.
It was horrible. It was the most horrible feeling, because when you're in a room and they tell you can't leave and it's somebody shooting, you just don't know. And your life just started flashing, in front of your eyes. So
to say Tashina Stevens was shaken up after the deadly shooting inside her workplace Friday morning would be an understatement. Was your shift already over, or are you leaving early?
I'm leaving early. I need to get out of here. No, this scared me too bad. It just traumatized me too much. No.
53-year-old Mario Green allegedly shot and killed his ex-wife in the basement of Henry Ford Hospital just off West Grand Boulevard before taking off. Latricia worked at the hospital and was on shift that day. Those that knew and worked side by side with her are absolutely devastated by the news.
She loved God. She focused on getting money and taking care of her family. Lord Jesus Christ, she was an amazing person.
Henry Ford Hospital was on lockdown for about an hour after the shots rang out before opening back up to patients and visitors. Streets were closed as the manhunt continued for the suspect throughout the afternoon, but staff inside the building say there was a lot of fear and confusion.
They were walking with their guns, like their hands on it, looking for this person. And we didn't know if he was still hiding, so we didn't know anything.
The disbelief still there too, knowing a life was taken far too soon in such a violent way.
She never did nothing to nobody. She was a nice, generous person.
She was magnificent. She was more than a friend. She was a mother. She was a wife. She did her job.
These employees now just hoping to heal and recover from such a
I gotta delete some stuff off my laptop. But good morning, welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about Latricia Green. Latricia Green passed away by her ex-husband Mario, who is 53 years old. Latricia was 40. She passed away Thursday. She was at work. He snuck in the basement of the Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit, Michigan, because she tried to get a PPO against him. And the reason she was trying to get a PPO was because of the fact that she would come home, they've got to get a divorce and everything, got a divorce and things of that nature. And I guess because of abuse, a lot of stuff is still coming out. They said, from what I'm hearing, she would come home. One time she came home, her clothes was cut up, destroyed. Like, he ripped her clothes apart. Then he bust out the windows in her car. He was just doing a lot of that stuff. So she went to the police station and she tried to get a PPO. The judge denied it. And she told them that if you guys don't do anything about him, he's going to hurt me. And the judge denied for whatever cause the PPO, the protection order that she went and got done. Now, I'm going to say this, it is going to be on the judge's hands. That's one thing you never want to do. And that was done. I always try to get their get their get their pew pew license because you have to protect yourself. Um, and I think she did not want to harm him or cause harm to him or anything, but he came in to harm her at her job. He had left, from what it said, he left, and they did catch him. They was on a manhunt because they thought he was still at the hospital. They didn't catch him until I believe 3 a.m. the next morning. So yeah, yes. Um, it's very sad. We're gonna listen to some stories. I'm gonna listen to a couple of content creators because some of them know a little bit more. So let's go to TikTok.
Come out about Latricia Green, the woman that was unalive yesterday at Henry Ford Hospital by her ex-husband. It says that she tried to apply for a PPO twice and kept getting denied. This was back in June and July. She told authorities that her ex-husband, Mario Green, was stalking her, that he was threatening to come up to her job, that he tried to get into her office at work, that he broke into her house and cut up her clothes. He tried to break out her car windows. Like everything was just escalated from there, and they did nothing to protect her. She even wrote this to the courts saying, I have to constantly look over my shoulder to make sure this man is not following me to hurt me like he has done in the past with physical abuse. I'm asking for help before this goes too far and things are too late. Things like that just pisses me off because the system does nothing to protect women from these abusive men. But if a woman has to take things into her own hands and defend herself, they throw her in prison for it. It's just like you can't win in this country. So more has come out about Latricia Green.
Okay, so he is in custody, but it's been a lot of this going on. Hold on, let me stop sharing. It's been a big, huge black femicide, and it's sad, y'all. Hold on.
Did you know that in North Carolina, if you assault a woman, the maximum time that you will receive is 150 days in prison? Convicted abusers are often released from jail within 1 day or have very low bonds set. And yes, most of the victims are Black women. I am very, very, very happy that we are finally beginning to name the problem. Femicide is very real, Black femicide is very real, and it is only increasing. Did you know that in North Carolina,
Um,
A little before 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, March 17th, 19-year-old twin sisters Samaya and Sanaya Spain went to Slope Natural Plus Deli and Grill in the Park Slope neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York. Their brother was with them, and they had just come from a family game night. Family members say the twins had also gone to a club earlier during the night. They decided to stop by the store to get something to snack on, and the owner of Slope Natural Plus says that the twins were regular customers in the store. While walking to the bodega, a friend who was with the twins noticed a man following Samaya. So in one article, it says that this man was actually at the club on the same night that the girls were there. Now, to get the man to go away, Samaya ended up providing her Instagram handle to him. When Samaya refused the drunk man's advances and told him she wouldn't follow him back on Instagram, he started getting belligerent and stormed out of the store. A few moments later, he attempted to push his way through the store's entrance, pushing Samaya in the process. When that happened, everyone else, including some of the store workers, pushed him out of the door and locked it so he couldn't come back in. During this time, the man also tried stabbing one of the store workers. Now, thinking that the man was gone, Sanaya and Samaya exited the store a short time later. The man came up to them again, this time with the knife visible in his hands. Sanaya said that the man said, "I'm going to stab y'all in the face." He pushed Samaya to the ground before running at her with the knife in his hand. The girl's older brother intervened, pushing the man to the ground. Sanaya says that when she went to grab Samaya's phone, the guy stabbed her in the arm before stabbing Samaya in the neck. Police found Samaya with stab wounds to her chest and neck and rushed both of the twins to New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, where Samaya was later pronounced dead. Sanaya is expected to make a full recovery from her injuries. So the suspect is still on the run. There's not much information about him, just this picture that they caught of him when he was trying to enter the store.
My bad. When I get more information on Latricia Green, I will. But I kind of set up trying to look up information about her, more about the relationship. But I believe it is more coming out. I'm going to see if I can find out on Facebook. But it's very sad. Um, the fact that he would go to the hospital basement, and most people know because a lot of people are like, why they didn't protect? Well, usually down in the basement is where a lot of people probably park their cars. You going at the car parking garage, so that's probably how the workers get up into the building. And he had to really been stalking her that day to see where she is parked. This was, I believe, at 9 or 10 in the morning. He had to see if she was there. And she probably sat there trying to see if anybody else was going into the building so she won't have to go alone. But a lot of people are upset because, basically, hold on. Let me see if I can find something. I don't know. It's taking me to myself. I don't want to be taken to myself. Her family are posting things. Let's go and look into that. Someone said I was 21 years old when the judge gave me custody of my 13-year-old cousin, Latricia Zozo Green, from Alicorn, where she was born and raised, to Clintondale, where she graduated high school, to Henry Ford, where she worked for 20 years. Everybody loved Trish. She had a bubbly personality, smiled all the time. She didn't deserve that from the demon to her come to her job and take her life. She didn't deserve that. I'm going to go to her page. She said, why do people message me? Leave me alone. I don't like people. Sorry for the language. So she was actually going through some stuff, y'all. If I have a future relationship with Mary again, he going to appreciate and love all of it. Wait, so he stopped her really for like 3 years? Let's see if we can go to some posts.
Staff, and the victim, Latricia Green, at Henry Ford Hospital on West Glen Boulevard, downtown Detroit. There was a call made that a domestic dispute turned fatal between her and this man right here, Mario Green, which is her ex-husband. Mario Green was the ex-husband of the victim. He walked into the front door on a Friday morning, found his wife in the basement of her workplace, and then he shot her 3 times. Witnesses say he walked into the room to where she was at, sitting at her desk. An argument ensued. As the argument ensued, he pulled out the gun and he shot her 3 times. After assessing the situation, the doctors and the staff, the nurses who was at the situation, said that it was a gruesome scene, that they seen that brain matter was splattered all over the desk and her blood where she was sitting at. The man later, he escaped, went to the 6th floor to avoid the cameras and walked right out the front door, leaving in a white Charger with the license plate splattered all over the news. Detroit police was dealing with a call really a mile down the road from another shooting that had ensued that left 1 dead and 1 injured. So when they got the call, that this had happened and that it was an active shooter in the hospital, they rushed across to the hospital. Although that people not knowing that the hospital is right across from the police headquarters. So this guy was very brazen to do what he done. So with the quick, swift act of Detroit police, the identity of everything that was going on and the known about this man was put out to the public, which a mass manhunt started between the ATF, Michigan State Police, Detroit Police, and any other agencies that wanted to help out with this situation and this manhunt. So as everyone noted that a lot of people feel her in this situation, from the justice system, from the security, and the people even at the hospital. But Latricia Green tried to put out a restraining order on her ex-husband on June 13th, which was denied by a Wayne County judge. And then later on, she tried to put out another restraining order on her ex-husband, which was then granted on July 20th. But then at that point, I feel like it was too late. She also wrote in her written statement on one of her PPOs that since her PPO was denied, that he was able to break in her car, cut up her clothes, and still harass her at her job. She even wrote that he had followed her from Oak Park all the way to downtown Woodward on Woodward and even tried to run his car into her, just harassing her, making her feel the mental distress, making her feel uneasy, making her feel scared for her life. She even mentioned that her father was murdered and that she felt really uneasy and she felt unsafe and that she really wanted this PPO to be granted. So as you can see, this is the stations at the Henry Ford Hospital. And a little bit of the backstory is that all this man picture was plastered on all the stations throughout the hospital to let it be known that he is not allowed in the hospital because of this situation right here. So as we can see that Latricia Green was in fear for her life on all different levels, even to the point that the security at her job used to have to walk her out to her car for months at a time because the guy would call and harass maybe over 60 times. He would call and harass up her at her job or even on her phone. And let's make note of that the security guard that was supposed to be at the main entrance that morning was not there. And if you take a look, these are the metal detectors that's placed on the side, not plugged up, and that they're telling people in the hospital that they can't plug up the metal detectors because they don't have enough funding to do that. But if you take a look right across the street from the hospital, they're building a whole new hospital. So you have funds to build something else, a whole new structure, but you don't have funds to keep people safe in the hospital with metal detectors that they won't be able to come in there with guns, weapons, knives. So on all levels, in any case, many people failed this lady when it comes to the justice systems, when it comes to the security, when it even comes to the people that was around that let this stuff go on. So it was also alleged that the man Mario Green had a new wife or a new person that he was involved with. But we all know how that situation go when a person don't want you, but they don't want to let you see you with somebody else. So after leaving the hospital, evading the cameras, this man then ditched his car, the white Charger, on 8 Mile and Lasher, where he proceeded to leave and still lead the police on the manhunt, where his video and his face is plastered all over the news. And around 3 o'clock Saturday morning, he was found on the Detroit's east side. So we want to give props and thanks to Detroit police. This has been a long, eventful weekend for everybody and the parties involved. Prayers to the family. And we feel like the community is feeling like that. A lot of people failed this lady in this situation when it comes to the hospital, when it comes to the police, when it comes to the judges, and a lot of people will also say that, what about the PPO? What about the PPO? But guess what? The PPO sometimes is just a piece of paper because if somebody wants to actually hurt you, the police still has to respond to the matter of the PPO. They still got to get to you. So what I will say is in situations like this, make sure y'all protect yourself. And if you can arm yourself and stay dangerous out here because there is a lot of predators out here, especially men like this. And we will also note to say that even his background and his past, that he had been in jail for and incarcerated for arson, and he had been charged with stalking before. So I will advise you ladies, when you're dealing with these men, I know you can't have any guarantees for sure in life, but try to do your vetting process a little bit better. You know what I mean? Try to see who these men really are before you dive into and get yourself in the situation.
He didn't lie. And I say that all the time. Vet them more because you're going to sit here and you can avoid so much than not vetting them. Let me see if I can find a post with her. Okay. If there's any family post. Trying to see if I can find something with her family because they have made her page private. Um, so this is a little more information. It says Wayne County, Michigan, and the judge that denied Latricia PPO request against her ex-husband on June 13th failed her. Her request again for a PPO against Mario Green on July 21st was finally approved, but the judge and the courts failed since the PPO was never served. So they never served that PPO to him. So yeah, we're in August. They never served it to him because if they would have served it, she would have had someone be out there with it, and she could have gave it to her job, which, like he said, the police station is really what across the street. So they would have been at the hospital. But now she is deceased. And now she's deceased. I'm sorry, y'all. His threats were act upon, and he walked into Henry Ford Hospital this morning and unalived her. She did everything right. She seek help over and over again, exactly how she was supposed to. PPO approvals need to change and be granted based on threats that they take and not to have to wait for physical abuse to take place. Livid heartbroken. Mario Green is the only guilty party here. She should have been protected. Latricia's statement in her PPO application. She said, since I was denied, he has not been able to break into my car, cut up my clothes, shoes. It still belongs for me. And followed me on multiple occasions and has tried to break my car window. She wrote, I noticed him follow me from Oak Park all the way back to the city and on Woodward in the Boulevard. He continued to try and turn his car into mine and block me off. He has continued to call my job and say he will not stop coming after me. I have tried being cordial because I felt like that the system has now let me down. Each time I have tried to make reports on this man. My father was unalive, and now with this situation, I'm now in mental distress and scared and not knowing what to do. That's what she wrote in her application. I have to constantly look over my shoulder to make sure this man is not following me to hurt me like he has done in the past with physical abuse. I'm asking for help before this goes too far and things are too late. This time on July 21st, the Wayne County judge granted PPO, deeming Mario Green to pose a threat to his wife. So if it was granted, right, who was supposed to go give this man the paperwork? Because what? Why didn't y'all get that man his paperwork? So I'm trying to let's see. I'm looking at her family stuff, y'all. Excuse me, I'm still a little sick. But why wasn't it granted to him? That's how her family. This is so sad. And imagine he is 10, 13 years old than her. 13 years older than her. And like he said, this wasn't his first time doing this. Um, he has history of things. So I know a lot of people are going to hear what happened to her. And the fact that this was granted, I don't see any more information, but I believe a lot of stuff gonna come out. The fact that this is granted and no one served him papers is wild to me. Very wild, because why haven't no one gave him papers that he was supposed to have? Hold on, y'all. Why no one gave him the proper paperwork? Like, I'm not understanding. Let me see something. Let me see. Oh no, I don't want the history. I just want. Thank you. And it sounds like Wayne County has a lot of failing. And it sounds like to them they just feel like, oh, this is normal. Oh, this is typically what happens. Oh, this is mm-mm. And this is why people say to stop saying, oh, he hit me or he did this to me, because look at it now. It's hard for people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got women out here say that because men don't want to be with them. They don't want to be with them. And it don't be true. And then when you come out, we've seen it and it come out to be not true. But then you got women who really, and this is why I say it's women who really going through this, who have said, I'm really being hurt. Y'all got to stop making it harder for women like her, because y'all are y'all feelings. She didn't deserve that. It's crazy. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on. Y'all know what I'm looking for. Oh. And I think Wayne County need to be held accountable. Seriously. There's no way that hold on, y'all. I'm finna find it. Dang. Yo, okay. Hold on. I don't think that they put up his stuff yet, but I want to show y'all. And ladies, please look up y'all, whoever y'all deal with. It started in 1990. Okay. Yes, I'm on the court docket. Controlled substance. When he got arrested for controlled substance, narcotics. He's had different charges, delivery and manufactured, and things of that nature. Okay. That's when he first got arrested. Remember, he is 53 years old. He got arrested in 1993 for arson dwelling house attempt, meaning he pled guilty. He had 3 years in prison, and he basically, I guess it sounded like he was trying to do arson on someone's home at the time. Okay. 2001, stalking, aggravated domestic violence. Defendant stand mute, plea guilty, entered by the court. Defendant stand mute. He got charges that it says deposition. That was the plea, whatever. It says he was stalking and doing aggravated assault. Okay. He got 5 years in prison for this, which I'm still trying to figure out. When she said who it was, why did they let him walk free when they should have been I think the DA, the state did they due diligence, which they always do, and whoever the state was at this time to presented it to the judge for this PPO pulled up his background. I believe they did. This is not his first time doing this. He did that in 2001. 2006, home evasion second degree. Stalking again. Okay, the same thing. Malicious destruction of personal property, stalking aggravated, domestic violence aggravated. And was he sentenced? I don't think so. Okay, he stole someone's stuff less than $200. I'm trying to see if he got a sentence. And no, I don't see a sentencing with this because remember, I just read when he got 5 years. Interesting. Interesting. And I hope the woman that saw that can contest and go to court during his trial. This is interesting. Child abuse. Child abuse is second degree. Child abuse first degree. I don't see a sentencing. And I'm looking at it. 2013. Assault with a dangerous weapon. Not guilty by jury. 2015. Child support. 2012. Child support. So it seemed like he had a history of doing this. And this was his last. He'd done it 3 or 4 times. They got away with it. So to him, Mario felt like if I do this, I'll get away with it because the courts have let me get away with it so many times. I could do it again. They're not going to find me guilty. I could go ahead and do whatever and hire a good lawyer. I can do this. Sir, you could be thrown under the jail. This is sad what happened to her. Ladies, please, this is why the T app is out there. And I see a lot of people joking about it. No, this is the reason why the T app is where it is out now. Because if you look at it, there are women, we just saw it saying that they're being rugged by men and abused and all of that they're really putting it out there on who to date. And I feel like that's what you need. And I feel like people need to stop cuddling abusers and stop focusing on some people that are celebrities that did a couple of things. And I think we need to start focusing on people that's actually going through it worse than what they have gone through. And let's be clear. This young lady, well, she's not young. She's the same age group. I'm like, it's crazy. This lady should be still alive. Still going to work, still would be with her family, feeling protected if she was not protected. And it's a lot of that going on. And I do have an update about the couple. Y'all remember the couple a couple of years ago, the one that was dating a stud and she unalived her in her home. She did plead guilty, and they're going to go ahead and push towards a trial. So they're going to go ahead and, I'm not sure she'll be in there for life. I'm not sure what Georgia going to give for that. It's a lot of that. And I feel like people don't control their emotions. I feel like people need to control their emotions better. And I want women to vet more better when they date. Because there are men out here, like he said, who is this man age that are now going to start, now that they have to go and say so with the limitations now, they're going to start preying and grooming young women. Then this is why I always come on here and say that this would be my saga, because they could take, I done seen girls 15, 16, mama didn't care, they run to the men be about almost 30, and grooming these girls and grooming them to think that that's all they got. That's just in the mindset. And then when they get old enough to understand that's not true, and then they get into, certain things and realize that's not right, they try to get away, then they're stuck, or you know what I'm saying? So I do send my prayers to her family. She did what she had to do, and he stopped her for a long time. Y'all just read when I just sat here and said that she was divorced, and then we read the court documents. He was already broken up with somebody else and did the same thing in 2006. 2006. That's almost 20 years. It's crazy. It is not the first time. We just read the court documents. And then with child abuse, and he has to pay child support, and he didn't even pay that. This man was reckless. He should have been in jail. I hope you guys enjoyed. A lot of you to like, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you guys. I think I put 1:30. Listen, we gonna live at 1:30. I'm gonna tell it now, and I'm gonna say it when we get on this live. Please be respectful. Your opinions are valid, but let's be respectful, okay? Because talking about politician and religion, you can go left. So we're only going to talk about religion. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys at 1:30. Thank you for watching. Why is it so slow? Hold on, y'all. Oh, never mind.
It's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally.
Birds singing in the dead of night.